And I look back now and I literally know that that was the moment that I had to play small to stay in this unit because I needed to work.
Is that when you were able to reclaim your voice after
You know,
15 years of playing small, Teresa?
you know, no one has ever reflected that back to me, but I think you're right. I watched too many people silence their voices, including me. Like, I remember I've always wanted to help people. I always wanted to watch other people shine. I always saw that nursing was so much more than just what people said it was. People come to me and like, oh, so you wipe butts all day? Oh, you have no idea. No idea what the knowledge and value of a nurse is.
Hey everyone, welcome to Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Proud. I'm really excited about today's conversation. I'm joined by Teresa Walden, a visionary nurse leader with over 30 years of experience, an international speaker, and a board-certified nurse coach who is helping nurses reconnect with who they really are. In this episode, we talk about what it means to stop playing small in healthcare, how so many nurses silence themselves just to survive, and what becomes possible when we finally feel seen and supported. Teresa shares her journey and the powerful role coaching plays in helping nurses access their innate wisdom, resilience, and voice. If you've ever felt unheard, stuck, or like your gifts were bigger than the box you were placed in, this conversation is for you. Let's dive in.
And one more thing before we get started, y'all. Can you subscribe to my podcast and leave a review? Can you like on social media and share an episode or two? Thank you. Hey, everybody, welcome to my podcast, Be Seen, Be Heard, Be Proud. Today, I'm so excited about our guest. Today, we have Teresa Walden, who is a nurse, actually a visionary nurse leader and over 30 years of nursing experience, which is pretty cool, transforming healthcare from the inside out. You're an international speaker, board certified nurse coach, and recognized for your groundbreaking work with the three principles paradigm, which enables individuals to connect with their innate wisdom and resilience through insight driven coaching. And I love the fact that you are a coach because I think, nurses really need that because I think in school we're kind of like coached into just bedside care and that's it, but we're so much more than that. So I want to get into that. Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, Shannon, thank you for letting me be here. I just love sharing what nurses are doing, what I'm doing, what I'm very interested in what other nurses are doing because I really feel like there's a disconnect sometimes of with us not supporting each other in our dreams and what we do and how we want to show up in the world. And for me, that's the best part of being a coach is we get to help other people with their dreams and
Yeah.
showing, you know, and all the things that go into coming alive in that space comes through a coaching conversation. I call it a coaching conversation, but it's really a human to human conversation. It's really how do we want to show up as human beings and especially as nurses and show the world our gifts and talents. It's one of the places I think that we don't get to share often.
I agree with that. And, I always like to meet nurses to see what they're doing and, how I can support them. And, I think it's so important to support each other. And I think coaching is a good way to do that. But let me ask you something like, how did you have the confidence to decide, hey, I have what it takes to coach others? Because that's pretty audacious, if you ask me.
I don't I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I think I just had a desire to help people. I watched too many people silence their voices, including me. Like I remember I've always wanted to help people. I always wanted to watch other people shine. That's I guess that's one of the places that makes my heart sing is when other people step into who they're here to be. That's I guess maybe that's why I enjoy coaching so much. But it wasn't always that way. Like I remember in my career, I started out like I want to do it all. you know, I want to so I would go in the community and teach. I became a director of a cardiopulmonary rehab unit. And I loved it because I got to go in the patient's room. I got to help them see past, whether it was a COPD or a heart attack. And I was like, hey, I got this program over here. Would you like to come over here? Well, pretty soon they were asking me to do different classes. So I held classes for them. I went in the community and did classes. And then things shifted and I went into rehab. And that was one place in my career I thought I would never go. Ended up loving it. Like it was like one of my favorite things I ever did. But I've always looked for opportunities where the opportunity needed to be. And I think I always saw that nursing was so much more than just what people said it was. People come to me like, oh, so you wipe butts all day? Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea what the knowledge and value of a nurse is. And then I thought, why aren't nurses paid better? Why aren't nurses being seen for who we are? And very shortly after that, I found myself in a unit where um, I was very excited about it, and I could see some potential and some fun things we could do in the unit to just make coming to work fun, right? And the nurse, I could still see it in my mind. She was bent over the trash can doing something, and she turned around as I was speaking, and she goes, "You are such an optimist. You know it will never work that way." And I went, "Oh, hold on." And I look back now, and I literally know that that was the moment that I had to play small to stay in this unit because I needed to work. And that became a path for 15 years,
And
like
small.
playing small inside. I still kept trying to
Wow.
do things. I still kept trying to be a preceptor. That would get like, you don't have time for that. I'm like, but I love doing this. I love teaching new nurses the things that I know so they don't have to struggle so hard. And
Mhm.
it ended up being probably 15 years later, that person actually had made it so difficult for everyone in the room to work with her that she left. And I
And
was like,
is that when you were able to reclaim your voice after
you know,
15 years of playing small, Teresa?
you know, no one has ever reflected that back to me, but I think you're right. You're the first one that ever put a word to that. I think you're right because that's about the time I found um, what we call the three principles. It's really a foundation for how our mental life works, but it is so nursing. It's all of those parts of us that see the patient as a whole human being, body, mind, and spirit, not just a person in the bed. It's it's where a different kind of conversation happens that only really nurses kind of get. Like, hold on, what did you just say? Just like what you just did for me. Thank you. Um, we do that for our patients, and we hear something that they don't hear for themselves, and we reflect it back to them. And suddenly they're like, oh, well, yeah, of course.
Is there like a, that's almost like a freedom, right? I
Totally.
remember being oppressed by a boss, and the day she left, everything changed. And I just blossomed into having the power and the belief that I could do what I'm doing today. But, I just felt so stifled. And it's
Mhm.
amazing how someone can have that much power over you for so many years. Mine was even longer than 15 years, So, but look at you now with what you're doing and what you've been able to accomplish and being able to help nurses no longer remain silent. Because as nurses, often we are.
Yeah,
We're like, you're instituting this new thing. You just got a new EMR. You're instituting this new practice. Nobody asks us anything. We know how things work. We
yeah.
know if it's going to work.
hmm We do, we do. And we're wonderful at finding what we call the workarounds, right?
Yes.
You work around, and we've even used that in training, like even at work. Well, here's the workaround for the computer. Here's the workaround for that. Um, but you know what I think it really is we lack in the words in the computer programs, the actual human connection part. And that it can't translate it. Only a human being can do that. Um, like the feeling that you have when you're in the presence of someone who truly does see you and cares about you inspires you as a human being to go, there's one person in this world that believes I can do it besides me.
Right.
And it looks like, quote, we need that. And some people would say, I can do it all by myself. I don't think we were ever meant to do anything all by ourselves. We
Yeah.
can, got very good at it, but I never really wanted to do it all by myself. I guess, which is why I'm creating a community of nurses who support each other, that see our gifts and talents and says, you can do it. There are enough people in this world that we could serve as many as we could possibly serve, and it still wouldn't be enough, even if all of us did it. And so we have no limits. There, the limit that we have is the one we put on ourselves. And to be honest, like the limit that I put on myself of playing small wasn't because the other person. It was because that's what I thought I needed to do to be in that environment. And
Survive, basically.
that's what I thought I had to do. And it turns
Mhm.
out that was a lie I told myself. That was a lie. Did you know your thinking lies to you? Mine does all the time.
Yes, it does. So how has embracing your authenticity transformed your personal and professional life? Now you're doing such big things now.
I think it's an internal shift. Like I woke up not that long ago and I went, "Oh, you've been doing this for 30 years. You might have some knowledge that other people haven't come across yet. They have their own knowledge." And I opened up my aperture, like sometimes we get really small in our thinking of life needs to look this way for me to feel safe. And I realized I was always safe and I was always okay. And it was always okay to be myself. And I had a lot of judgment and thinking about that. And one day it went, what are you doing to yourself? If words create reality and your thoughts create reality, you might want to be a little more careful about what the words you're using to yourself. And
Those tapes, right?
yeah, well, and sometimes those tapes are invisible. They just creep in like, quote, out of the blue. But I can recognize them now. Like, oh, that's not true. That a limiting belief, if you will, of what you think you can do and what looks difficult or hard suddenly becomes easy when you find people who love and support you and say, and like what you just reflected back to me again, I'm still thinking about it, obviously, of why did you do that? Maybe if you look at what you really want to do in the world and take teeny tiny steps towards that and find people that give you love and encouragement along the way, also known as coaching, um, helps you move forward in your life faster than if you try to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. What's the saying? Successful people have coaches.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
successful
because
people have coaches or more than one coach, actually. Like,
I would agree. I've hired
yeah,
many, many coaches.
yeah, I've dipped into retirement for coaches.
Yeah, there you go.
Wifey wasn't too happy, but you're gonna
There
pay
you go.
what? You're gonna go into the retirement account for what? It's like,
Yep.
yeah. So what's a piece of advice you would give someone struggling to feel like they belong?
Find a coach is the first thing. Find someone that
Yeah.
resonates with you, or find a tribe of people. Just make friends with people who aren't staying stuck, like have a desire to not stay stuck or think outside the box, or take a look around and see, wow, is there a group of people out here that are doing what I love? And then introduce yourself.
Yeah.
It is in the relationship, in the world of digital creative advertising, touching all the psychology points of selling, all of that stuff. Find a real person,
Find your tribe.
find your tribe, and
Yeah.
find the people that nudge you. And the other thing I've learned is if I'm looking like even online or I'm in a networking group or whatever, find that person that you like, that person looks really interesting. I wonder why is that interesting to me? They're probably a reflection of you.
Interesting. You don't think people are generally lonely, and craving the human connection. And then, if you just have the courage to step out there into those networking events or groups, you can find like some amazing people. I mean, that's how I met you. We had the
Mhm.
courage to meet each other, and the only commonality we had at the time that we knew of was that we were both nurses.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this chick is really, really cool. I want to have her on my podcast.
Wants to
So,
know. I want to know who and what she's about. And
yeah.
what's funny is speaking of LinkedIn, and I've seen your post lots and lots of times. But it's funny because like, well, she probably wouldn't really resonate with me or talk to me or whatever, But every time you came up, I was attracted to. I don't even remember what you say on LinkedIn. I was attracted to your picture and authenticity of the things I did read. And that's a big
Thank you.
deal. And
Yeah.
so in social media, that's what I've been doing is looking for people that are speaking from the heart because you can tell when they are. And then if it resonates with you, make a connection, even if it's just hey, I saw your post and I really liked it. Not maybe just in the link, but as a personal message.
Yeah.
Because you can tell the messages that are like, hey, I want you to buy my thing. I'm
Yeah.
saying this right thing to you so that you'll come and talk to me. No, I'm sorry. That's not how it works for me. So becoming discerning, I think,
Yeah.
is
And,
part of
and
it.
you're not going to resonate with everybody. Like
Mm-mm.
I was on a call yesterday and I was like, yeah, no, this is,
Yeah.
nice guy, everything. But I was like, I'm not feeling any, and that's
Mhm.
okay too. Everybody, you're not going to feel like stuck like Chuck.
Right. Right.
So, let me ask you this. What does being proud mean to you?
Ooh, that's such a loaded word. So I'll tell you a short story. When I
Okay.
got my nurse coaching certification, we were doing some videos. Somebody was professionally videotaping us. And I heard myself say, I'm so proud to be a board certified nurse coach. And then I made them edit it out. I didn't want to come across as arrogant, and being proud felt like that. And now I think of it more like I'm really proud of the community I've created. I'm proud of the nurses that are in here. And it's not prideful. It's not full of pride. It's like, wow, look at you. Look what you're doing. Look what your heart is right here, and I see it. And I want to be a part of your community. So being proud to be a nurse, knowing what we know and helping people in the ways that we do is a moment of like, wow, this is a really big deal. So it's more proud like a big deal of showing people you're not broken. There's nothing lacking in you to live the life you love.
Beautiful. Wow. You're being fabulous, everybody. Thanks for joining me today, Teresa. You were awesome.
Oh, Shannon, I am so happy to be here and thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.